Hey everybody, it's Alicia with Appalachia Gypsy Healing Arts. I'm here live tonight, February 25th, 2026, live on Facebook. This video will be up on Facebook for a while, and then I will be sharing it on to YouTube for you to be able to view at a later date. But I welcome everyone. I invite you to take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. I invite you to sit with me tonight quietly in the stillness. What's interesting is I was given guidance to do this ceremony and share this information with you guys last week, and I thought I was going to be doing this last Wednesday evening, and it happened that I couldn't do it last Wednesday, and so tonight we are here not doing more. It's about softening into stillness and allowing healing for our bodies, our minds, and our soul. What's interesting about slowing down and finding stillness for this week is that we are starting into Mercury retrograde tomorrow for 3 weeks. And the Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap, but it basically is inviting you to slow down and to be still and to realign yourself with what is serving you and to release what no longer serves you. It seems to create some chaos is what and things get turned around and shifted around. But the Mercury retrograde is asking you to find stillness, to slow down, to reevaluate and realign. So what a good time that I feel like Spirit has worked for us to be here tonight, not doing more, just softening into stillness. Sometimes, I know myself, I can be a little too intense, and sometimes I want to always be looking at the shadow, always be looking for the best way to heal, going, growing, right? And sometimes I think we leave things unseen if we are going too fast and going all the time. We are missing things that need to be healed, missing things that need to be shifted in our lives. Saying all that, we often carry emotions we never have time to feel because we are going and going. We're not actually allowing ourselves to feel the emotions we need to feel. Words, there are words we never speak because we're too busy to speak them. We're too busy to share the truth. We might say things more quickly in a reactive way versus finding stillness and being able to reflect and respond in a way from grace and love. We often tuck away grief and tension, and we've just learned to live around these things. All these feelings, they don't just disappear. They simply wait for a safe place to release. So meanwhile, you're processing these emotions and you're carrying these emotions inside your body, and they're causing sickness, and they're causing mental fatigue, and they're causing deeper emotional wounds, and they can be causing a spiritual block and disconnect. This emotional baggage can harm you in many ways, and they're just sitting there waiting for a time that you will take to find stillness, to be able to feel them, like actually feel the emotion, not just go, oh yeah, I was angry in that moment. oh yeah, I was hurting in that moment. No, these emotions, your emotional baggage is waiting for you to actually feel it and process it. Feeling emotions is not a bad thing. Feeling emotions can help you have understanding. Tonight, what I'm hoping to create here in this place is a sacred space within your breath, in your body, and within a quiet moment to take, to heal, to listen, and to allow yourself to process. There is nothing you need to fix. It's nothing you need to force. Just allowing yourself to sit, to feel, and to gently let go of what is ready to dissolve. This is about creating a safe place. Sometimes it's hard to feel our anger and our hurt and our frustration when we don't feel safe. So you have to create that safe place for you somewhere. So tonight, I invite you to create that safe place around you now. I invite you to understand you are held here now and that your healing has already begun. That's my intentions for tonight, is to create a safe place where you can heal, where you know you are being held and that you have someone on your side. When we're processing emotions and emotional baggage, when I use the word emotional baggage, I'm talking about trapped emotions. I was trained in a healing modality called emotion code. And emotion code is about releasing the trapped emotions from your body. And in that training, I learned a lot of different things that emotions can actually do within our physical body when we are not allowing ourselves to feel those emotions. And I think we can, yes, you can come to me as an emotion code practitioner and I can help you release those trapped emotions. That is part of what I offer here at Appalachia Gypsy Healing Arts. But my ultimate goal is to help you learn that you can do these things on your own time, in your own space, and do it all on your own without a practitioner helping you. You can do this. You can heal on your own. It's about making the time and the space to be able to allow yourself to feel these emotions, to process these emotions, and to let them dissolve. I use the word release a lot because releasing is a intentional thought of I'm allowing this to go away. But release can also create tension because, oh my goodness, how am I supposed to release this? But tonight is about learning how to create a space for yourself that you just allow the emotion to dissolve. So just dissolving it, just allowing it to float away out of your body. And I know this sounds very woo-woo, in which, I posted a few days ago, there is miraculous healing in the woo-woo that is scientifically backed. One of my favorite scientists was Nikola Tesla, and he very much believed that energy was everything and that we could create our energy and we can release energy from our bodies. Because that's what an emotion is, guys. It's a frequency, it's an energy. And each emotion has its own frequency. So you have grief and shame. Shame is one of the most low vibrating frequencies you can have. And if you continually have that low vibration frequency inside your system, it creates sickness. It creates emotional fatigue. It creates mental fog. It creates spiritual disconnect. That is why I'm so behind holistic wellness and understanding, is because it all works together. So if you hold on to shame and guilt and grief, this is vibrating. You can think of it like a ringing bell inside your body. It's ringing inside of you, and it's creating that low frequency to constantly be in your body. But if you start to release that and you start to add an energy, a frequency of acceptance of yourself, acceptance of the situation that caused that emotion, and we'll go back to that, because I know that can be a hard one. But also, so you have acceptance, and then you have love. Love is one of the most highest vibrating. It is the highest vibrating emotion. It's the highest vibrating frequency that's in the emotional world. But sacred stillness for releasing trapped emotions is what we're focusing on tonight, okay? And I want to give the background that I've been giving on emotions and what they can do to the body. The thing is we don't need to be fearful of our emotions, because they are just guides. That's all they are. An emotion is a guide. It's a way to say, hey, this is happening. It's like a little alarm going off. And it's not a master. It's just a little, hey, listen to me. I'm here. Please, pay attention to this. It's not scary. Emotions are not scary. They are not bad. They are not wrong. You have to feel them. If you're angry, it's okay to be angry. What's not okay with anger is mushing it down inside of you, which I'm guilty of in the past, mushing that anger down inside of you so you don't feel it. And it's not right to be reactive with that anger. So being aggressive, lashing out, those are the things that are not right with anger. But feeling anger is okay. Processing that anger and writing down why I feel that way. I am angry because so-and-so said this, and it made me feel that, and I allowed it. Not it made me. I allowed it to affect me this way. Okay? The biggest thing that I can say about emotions is a lot of times we say, someone caused us to feel this emotion. Someone caused this. And we're constantly pointing the finger at someone else. Someone else's energy, yes, can have a cause and effect, right? They can choose to say something that's not nice. They can choose to not protect their own energy. They can choose what they're doing, right? And it can be wrong, and it can be hurtful, and it can be bad. But we, in return, have a choice of what we do with and how we react to the way they treated us, right? So let's say someone didn't respect something I said. Now I can go, wow, that really offended me, and that made me really angry, and that energy really hurt my feelings. But what is not okay with that is sitting in that anger, in that hurt, in that frustration, and allowing it to control me. What I want to do is I want to say, yes, I was angry. Yes, I was hurt. I felt neglected. I felt unheard. And but I'm not going to allow it to control me, right? And I'm learning that person is reacting from their own wounding, from their own trauma that they haven't processed. So I'm going to have an understanding for them. And that may be the only place you can get right away, and that's fine. I have an understanding of where they're reacting. Then you have a choice in that matter. You have a choice to heal, forgive, and move forward with boundaries. setting up boundaries. So I'm not going to be in a situation where somebody isn't. So let me use this as a description, okay? So as a teacher, as someone who teaches and guides, I have the issue sometimes of getting too zealous and too excited, and I want to share wisdom and teach and help others to learn, heal, and grow, because that's why I'm here. That's my mission on earth. What I have had to learn is that sometimes people don't want to hear what I have to say, and I have to respect that. I have to say, okay, they're not ready, for this, and maybe the words I have for them is not what they're needing right now. So I need to keep my mouth shut, and I'm going to set boundaries, and I am not going to give advice and give guidance unless it's requested from now on. And so that is something I've went through recently. I was offering teaching and wisdom and guidance in a situation that it wasn't being appreciated. My intentions, I know, were from a place of love and healing and wanting to help, but the other person did not accept it that way. And so I have to say, okay, that's where they are. I got a little hurt. I got a little angry. I got a little frustrated, but I processed those emotions, and now I have understanding and compassion of why they might be acting that way and choosing to respond to me that way. So my response in return is a boundary of, when I am around this person, I will ask them and those around them to only ask for guidance, and that I will no longer just freely say things from my mouth. And that's a lesson in it for me and myself, right? That sometimes I got to keep my trap shut, and but anyways, back to emotions. I had to process the emotions of hurt, anger, and frustration. And I had to come to an understanding and have understanding and compassion for this person that I felt was projecting their emotions onto me, vice versa, okay? So that is where we want to get with emotions. We want to be able to feel them and then create an energy and intention of understanding the situations. Emotions are just guides. They are just teachers, okay? They're just teaching you. They're guiding you down a path. Why am I angry? Let me feel this. Where do I feel it in my body? Where you feel it in your body is so important because it allows you to process it. Anger, a lot of times, is felt in our chest. Our chest will tighten, and we'll have a hard time breathing. Sometimes we might feel it in our stomach. We feel knots in our stomach. Sadness is felt a lot in the throats and in the tummy too. The tummy, that's why we have the statement, I have a gut feeling, is because a lot of our emotions are in our stomach area, okay? Or you can say I have a heavy heart, right? With sadness and grief, it's in my heart. So when you're creating a stillness and a place to process these emotions, let's talk about the space that we want to create to process these emotions, okay? You want to feel safe, okay? You need it to be quiet or have nice, wonderful music playing that calms your system down, calms your nervous system down. You want to have sweet smells, good smells, so candles, sage, incense. If you live in a house with children and it's very noisy, put some headphones on so you have that still music playing in your head. And guys, there's tons of music to find out there. Thank you for sharing, Deneen. So Deneen says her problem is she feels the emotions overwhelmingly, but not learning to process them properly. And so that's what we're going to do here tonight, Deneen. And hopefully you can take this and continue to help yourself process those emotions. you know, and there's not just one and done way. This is just one way to help you process those emotions. So thank you for sharing that, Deneen. So going back to creating a sacred space. So you want somewhere safe, somewhere still and quiet, or you can create that still and quiet place by, you know, putting headphones on, putting meditation music on. And there's music out there, guys, on every single platform, YouTube, Spotify, wherever. There is meditation music to listen to, or healing music, healing frequencies even, that you can listen to help you process. Again, put something lovely and smelling on that's going to calm your system down. Sage, essential oils, candles, incense, creating a sacred space. Okay. You can have a specific chair you sit in, or a pillow you sit on the floor, or it can be in the bath, in the tub, in the shower. I like to do cleansing ceremonies in the shower, because it's just another element of water running over me. I'm helping wash away the heaviness I feel. It's about creating a sacred space that works for you. Some people love to do it outside. Kind of hard to do when it's cold outside, but during the summer you can, and in the warmer weather, you can create a sacred space outside in the grass, grounding yourself to Mother Earth. You can build a bonfire and create the crackling noises, and again, the smell of the wood burning. That's all sacred space creating. And there's so creating the sacred space, feeling the emotion, allowing yourself to name the emotion. Okay, giving so Miss Ruth is sharing that Meditative Mind on YouTube as one of her favorite platforms for frequency. And Miss Ruth knows a lot about frequency and frequency healing, so I appreciate that, Miss Ruth. So creating the sacred space to feel the trapped emotions and to process those emotions, okay? So you can feel the emotion, right? And sometimes it can be overwhelming, but you have to allow yourself to feel it. Cry, scream, punch a punching bag, punch your pillow, you know, scream into your pillow if you can't just scream out loud. You know, I live in the middle of a neighborhood in Oak Ridge, and if I walked out and screamed, you know, just went to screaming like I feel like I need to do sometimes, I probably get the cops called on me. So no, you know, there's different ways to get it out. That's somatic healing. When people talk about somatic healing, screaming and allowing yourself to process those emotions is that somatic healing. Letting your body, sometimes your body may need to jerk, it may need to shudder, you may need to do the deep dirty cry, you know, where you snort, and that is allowing yourself to process. Some people burp and release gases from their body because that is their body releasing, and that is okay. It's just, you got to get yourself in a sacred, still place to allow yourself to process these emotions. So feeling the emotion, okay? Feeling the emotion, where is it in my body? Yeah, taking your anger and frustration out on video games would be a good one, Sheila. Thank you for sharing that. So where is the emotion in my body? So once you create a still place, you're going to sit down, take some deep breaths in through your nose, relax your body, and then ask, where is it in my body? And you just sit in stillness, and your body will respond. You might feel it in your shoulder might start to ache, your hip might start to ache. You may feel it in your chest, you may feel it in your jaw, you may feel it in your head, you might get a pressure or a headache, you might feel it in your neck. a lot of the emotions have settled in somewhere that has to do with the situation that the emotion was absorbed in, right? So if I was in an argument with my spouse and I felt really insecure in the moment that we were having this argument, my hurt and my anger and my whatever might be around that, I might feel it in my stomach because I felt unsure and shaky that time. I might feel it in my lower abdomen or even in my root chakra, in my groin area. So what, or you might have had an injury, right, at the time that you had the emotional thing. And that's another thing I love about holistic medicine. You got into a car accident. Your injury is not healing. It might be because you have emotions trapped in that injury from that car accident. You might have fear and anger, resentment, whatever it may be from that car accident may have settled into that wound. It doesn't even have to be a car accident though. Let's say you're struggling with a wound and then you get into an argument or a disagreement or something happens and you have a very thick emotional situation happen. Those emotions are going to settle into that weak part of your body at that time. So you can feel emotions all over your body. It's allowing yourself to feel it, okay? And in this stillness routine, we're just saying, I feel this emotion of anger. So for me, my anger is in my belly. I feel anger. I feel hurt. I feel unseen and unappreciated. Misunderstood. That's all right here in my stomach. That's emotions I've been processing the past few days. And I know I still have a little bit there that still needs to be healed. And mine's right here in my tummy and I feel it. And so I can sit there and I can hold those emotions, right? I can say, I give understanding to why I felt those emotions. I can give understanding to the energy of the situation. And I can have compassion for myself that I felt those things. I can have compassion for the situation that it was really intense. And I can have compassion for the person that I felt was misunderstanding me. I can have compassion for them, right? And so I'm moving through these stages. And as I'm moving through those stages, that emotion is starting to dissolve. It's starting to release. And this is a multi sitting. Sometimes the emotion will be released right away. And other times, if it was a very intense situation, those emotions might be a little deeper. They might be a little, might take a little bit longer to work on and heal. And so sometimes it's not a one and done. Sometimes it's, I got to revisit this for a few days and continue to do the ceremony to release it. So you're going to sit in the sacred place that you have created. You're going to feel those emotions in your body, and you're going to hold them and release them and let them dissolve into the light. This is shamanic healing. This is energy healing. This is emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical healing. This is what holistic wellness is all about, is allowing yourself to process the whole event within a still, quiet moment. This is resetting. This is realigning. Again, this is allowing yourself to process without any judgment. Processing, no judgment for yourself, right? No judgment for yourself in the moment. And even finding no judgment for the people that might be at fault in the situation. I said something to a client today that I feel like I need to share with you guys. But processing trapped emotions and processing trauma and wounds, even from the past, from situations that even had to do with us as a child. That's what inner child work is. That's what shadow work is looking at the hurt and the pain and the emotions around the situation. We have to, as we are healing and releasing, we have to gain understanding. We have to gain compassion and move to forgiveness and love. And that is what we are being called to as spiritual beings that are healing and growing, okay? Does not mean in any way that how we were treated, what happened to us is okay. What we're saying is that we're no longer going to be victims, and we are no longer going to hand our power over to the person who caused those wounds or that harm. Because I can tell you, I've been doing this for over 13 years, and I have come to places in my healing where I have realized that I have danced this dance with this person multiple times and multiple lifetimes. And I want to learn how to move through the process of understanding, compassion, forgiveness, and love. Yes, for myself, very much so I can heal, so I can learn, so I can grow, so I can find freedom, so I no longer allow this person to have any kind of control over my life or even future lives, okay? There's also a point in our healing journeys that we have to come to a place of trust. Trust that no matter how bad it is, no matter how much chaos, how much ugliness, how much hurt is in the world and is happening around us, that there is a purpose in it. And all I can do is control the way I react to it and how I allow it to affect me personally. Now, I can have emotions about the chaos. I can have emotions and I can be hurt, and I can have moments of fear. I can have moments of doubt and insecurity. You just don't want it to get trapped. You just don't want to get stuck there. You want to feel it. You want to figure out, have understanding of why you're feeling that way. You want to have compassion for yourself. And then you want to find freedom. And freedom is found through forgiveness and love. Okay? And one of the big things that I am, one of my missions, let's just say that, my main mission of why I'm here on earth is, yes, to help people heal, learn, and grow, and to teach and to give guidance. Those are all parts of my mission. But the main part of my mission is to bring unity Christ consciousness into the earth plane. How do I know this? It is in my birth charts. It is in my soul contract charts. It's in my astrology charts. Any of my charts. This is what I'm here for. I am here to bring the unity the Christ consciousness into the earth plane. So I have had to learn myself before I can help people learn, heal, and grow. I have to do it myself. I have to heal. I have to learn. I have to grow. I have to learn to love people where they are, no matter what. And I have to see that there's a purpose, there's a lesson in everything. The word karma, we talk about the word karma. I don't want to create karma, or this is my karma. Karma just means lesson. That's all it means. And you have a choice on whether or not you learn from your lessons. Okay, and there's lessons that you will have over and over and over again, and you have to learn them at a deep, deep level. One of my greatest teachers, even though I learned from her, I'm talking about a karmatic relationship I have with a person, not an actual like teacher that I went to for guidance. I'm talking about a person in my life that is one of my greatest teachers. When I started to learn my lessons from her, I have other versions of her that come in and out of my life, because those are lessons that I'm supposed to learn on a very deep level, okay? I don't know where we're going tonight, guys. I'm just letting Spirit lead, and I was supposed to share that, so I'm sharing it. Back to the sacred stillness, creating a space of sacred stillness for releasing trapped emotions. So we talked about creating the space, right? Creating the space, and you can create that space on the moment. We've talked about this before. I'm at work. Somebody makes me upset. I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to do breath work, and I'm going to release in the bathroom. I'm going to go out to my car. I'm going to process it. If I need to, right in that moment, you can do that. Or you can wait till you get home and you have a room that is just for you. You have an altar area where you lay things down, okay? My goal one day, I'm living in a rental house right now, but one day when we build our house here in East Tennessee, I'm going to have a room that's just mine, and that's what it's for. It's for my own healing, my own processing. Right now, I process a lot in the bathroom because that's where Mama can get her time, is in the bathroom. And sometimes I'm able to go to my office space and be able to process there. But create a space somehow in your room. If it's a bathroom, it's a closet, it's your bedroom, somewhere you have space that's for your time to heal, learn, and grow. We talked about feeling your trapped emotions in your body. Trapped emotions, our emotional baggage, are just emotions we have felt so strongly in the past. They are now inside our frequency, inside our body, and they are ringing at their own frequency like a bell, okay? So when we felt that anger, when we felt that hurt, when we felt that unworthy feeling, it's in our system and it's ringing its own frequency. And those frequencies can cause physical ailments. It can cause emotional draining, emotional feeling. It can cause mental fog. It can cause spiritual blocks to where you are not feeling the connection to Source Creator or to Mother Earth or to your spirit team like you should, okay? I've done a lot of talking, you guys, I know. I want to lead us into our sacred stillness healing ceremony for releasing trapped emotions. If you would like to join me, I would invite you to sit comfortably in your chair with both of your feet planted firmly, flatly on the ground. Please do not cross your legs or your arms or your hands. Rest your hands softly over your heart or just open in your lap. Tonight, we step into sacred stillness. We step out of the noise of the world and into the quiet sanctuary of our soul. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Again, take a deep breath in through your nose, Releasing through the mouth. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale through your mouth and release the weight you have been carrying. Again, breathe in the calm. Breathe out the tension. One more breath in, breathing in safety. Breathing out resistance. Imagine a soft light beginning to glow within your chest. This light is your sacred space, untouched, eternal, safe. With each breath, this light grows warmer, softer, and more welcoming. It surrounds every emotion you've been holding without judgment. If there is an emotion ready to release tonight, simply allow it to rise into this light. You do not need to name it. You do not need to understand it. Just let it be held. Imagine this feeling gently dissolving like a mist in the sunlight, like tension melting from your body. I invite you to place both hands over your heart. Whisper quietly within yourself, I give myself permission to release what I no longer need to carry. I give myself permission to release what I no longer need to carry. I give myself permission to release what I no longer need to carry. I am safe to soften. I am safe to heal. I am worthy to soften. I am worthy to heal. Spirit of love and gentle restoration, thank you for holding this sacred space. Thank you for every emotion released, every heart softened, every breath restored. May peace remain within each person here. May healing continue beyond this moment. May they walk forward lighter, steadier, and deeply supported. Thank you. So it is, and so it shall be. Slowly bring awareness back into your body, to the chair beneath you, and to the room around you. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, and when you are ready, open your eyes. Thank you, sweet souls, for joining me tonight. I invite you to know that you are safe to heal. You are worthy to heal. You no longer need to carry the burdens of the past. And you now have a game plan to release anything from now and into the future. It is time, my child, to rise. Thank you all for joining me tonight, and I will see you next time.